to us on the topic Evangelizing the Digital Continent, Youth and Social Media in the Light of the Gospel. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Miss, for the time. With the permission of the Miss, I begin. I would sit or stand and speak. I think I prefer to stand. My presentation, okay. Before I begin, I will not take too much of time. Before I begin, I want to start with something funny. There was a taxi driver from Guwahati to Shillong. His name was I Love You. Taxi driver from Guwahati to Shillong. His name was I Love You. He was a very reckless driver. He always wear black sunglasses, torn jean. He died. And there was also a parish priest from the Cathedral of Paris who also died. The two of them went to heaven. So Saint Peter came out. Driver, I love you. This fellow came, yes. Then Saint Peter gave silk robe and, golden staff. The bishop used to carry, na? Archbishop is here. Bishop used to carry golden staff. Welcome, I love you. Driver, taken in. Then Reverend Father, Cathedral Parish Priest, I don't know, Albert or something. Welcome. And he was given a cotton, robe. And a wooden staff, walking stick, na? And then the parish priest says, no, I think there is a mistake here. Saint Peter said, no, there is no mistake. That fellow was a reckless driver. He met an accident and hurt many people. How can he get that, silver robe and then golden walking staff? Saint Peter said, no. In heaven, we count the outcome. Because when the driver drives, all the passengers pray. But when you preach in the cathedral, everybody sleeps. I hope we three of us will not make you sleep because this is a post-lunch, right? All right. So the topic is given to me on evangelizing the digital continent, youth and social media in the light of the gospel. I hope I will be able to bring home to many young people who are here today. Yeah, next screen, please. It's not working. Yeah. Science and technology are wonderful products of human creativity, but they must be placed at the service of human dignity. I did not say this. Pope Francis. So, what is this digital continent? Your Grace, this digital continent is very vast and very fast. And also, billions of people live in that continent today. Billions of people. Now, amid digital noise, confusion, moral challenges, the Catholic Church is called to be a beacon, radiating the light of Christ in the truth, hope, and love in this vast fast, progressive continent. I was asking yesterday to Miss Angela from this Cathedral Paris, how many days you spend in the digital world? Can you please kindly give me some average? You know what she gave me? What she gave me? This is not given by me again. Huh? This is a reality. According to Miss Angela of this Paris Cathedral, she spends some time 1 hour 24 minutes a day. Okay? So 1 hour 24 minutes a day into 30 days is equal to 360 into 365 a year is coming up to 13,578 hours. Now, let us look at it. She is spending in the year 13,578 hours, and the whole Bible, Catholic version, has 1,133 chapters. You know, in a year, Miss Angela can read the entire Bible 11 times. This is the hour that every young people spend in this, the new continent called digital continent. Sister, your name please? Yes. Lucy. Lucy, right? How many hours did you spend in this continent? Just reflect. Every one of us has the digital footprint. So this is very, very crucial. And the Catholic Church, it says, we need to be the beacon of hope, radiating this. We can't say, no, I do not know. Understanding the digital culture, this culture is also vast, visual, and emotionally driven and algorithmically manipulated. How is that? You know, before Pope Leo XIV announcement, how much of Instagram page run around? Who is going to be the next Pope? Some of them were, yes, artificially manipulated pages. Can we keep silent as a church? And young people, how are we going to do? The gospel and the digital witness. This gospel is timeless, but its method of delivery must be also timely. Gospel is timeless, but its method of delivery, the message, should also be timely. Today, in the digital continent, it is timely for us to be delivering that gospel message. Jesus himself used many languages of the people, parables, stories, symbols to teach his audience of that time. If Jesus to be alive today, I am sure he will be an expert in AI. If Jesus is here today, he will be an expert in machine learning. If Jesus is today, he will be computing his gospels in all our hearts. You know, Jesus will do computing his message into our hearts. Likewise, we must speak the digital language today, the church, especially the young people. Youth as a digital missionaries is what we are here today. You can become a missionaries. No need to go to Africa as a digital missionaries. How many of you would like to say, what are you doing? I'm an influencer. What type of influencer? I am the YouTuber. During our college days, Father Kokto, do you hear one YouTuber coming to you? Bishop, your Lordship, we have never seen in our college days YouTuber. But today, YouTuber is there. You can become a missionary in that field, YouTuber. You are not just a consumer, My dear youths, you are not just a consumer. You can become a creator of the content that witnesses Christ in this digital continent. Share testimonies and faith experiences in your pages. Create reels, podcasts, blogs rooted in scriptures and personal transformative stories. You can encounter or counter negativity with hope, hatred with love, confusion with truth in this digital continent. See, I did not say this. 1 Timothy chapter 4:12. Let no one despise your youth, but be an example to the believers. You, young people, 2,000 plus young people seated here from all the Northeast region, may you become an example to the believers in the digital world. So technology should be a tool and should not become a master to us. A tool, not a master. The danger is not technology itself, but being enslaved by it, addicted, distracted, and detached from the real life. How many youths today sitting here, before you say a prayer when you get up, before you say good morning to your father and mother, you will pick up your phone and check your WhatsApp messages or Instagram pages, right? Sister Lucy, do you or not? See, should not be enslaving us. Living with the gospel in the digital world means what? Centering your life on Christ, not on the trends and the lights. Some girls will cry, ayo, moi man, selfish day, selfish. Father James of Kohima Diocese says, this kind of camera is taking selfish picture. Huh? So how many of you has taken selfie in this campus? Every one of you are taking reel and all those. You post it and you are looking for some boys to give lights. Right? Especially our Veronica. Our Miss Veronica, na? She is always running after the lights. Nah? We should not be looking for trends and the light, but should become centering our life in Christ in that digital world. Technology is part of our life today, but Christ must be at the center. So, how do we do it? Daily prayer. I'm a very lazy guy, but sometimes I still pray the divine of your grace. Sometimes I still pray the divine office. Now apps has come up, it's very easy. It's giving you, good connectivity. So daily prayer is very important. Now, your grace, I would like you to please kindly look at it, even Father John Barman, because he's going to go to national level now. See, today, the church cannot close the eyes on this new emerging technology called exponential biotech. Miss, I think you are doing biochemistry, PhD. There is a CRISPR. This is a technology for gene editing. My gene can be edited. Father Cocteau gene can be edited. And I will take Father Cocteau gene and then give to someone else. So that is called CRISPR technology. Another one is called precision medicines and neurotechnology and brain-computer interface. Your brain will get connected with your device. I'm speaking today because I am praying every day that I want to become like a prophet Isaiah in this digital world. I want to become the prophet in the digital world, not in this physical world. This is my prayer. And I want all of you to become a prophet in this digital continent, like the prophet Isaiah in the Old Testament. So, another one is called synthetic biology and artificial life. synthetic biology and artificial life. If your link is cut off using bioprint, you can print back your finger today. Except kidney cannot be printed today, but in few years' time, your kidney will be printed and transplanted again. So this is the technology which is coming and hitting even the very fact of a belief. You know what is that? God created us in His own image. Even that very philosophy and theology can be impacted by this because we are able to read DNA, and not only reading the DNA but writing a DNA. That is very crucial. So, evangelizing the digital world, the church, especially through young people, is called to be missionaries, disciples online. 2,000 young people gathered here from Aizawl Diocese, Dibrugarh Diocese, Tezpur, whatever, Jowai, all of you are called to be the missionaries, disciples online. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, 16. Woe to me. So, woe to all of us if we do not preach the gospel online. So the church must not withdraw but illuminate, offering clarity where there is confusion, offer communion where there is isolation, offer Christ, the eternal word, in the world flooded with passing words. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John chapter 1, 5. Northeast India must lead the Catholic faith in the digital world. For what? Because this digital continent does not have any boundaries. So we can shine. Be the light from the hills. Let us be the light from the hills, Northeast hills. Let us, with faith identity. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Northeast India, often seen as a periphery, must now become the prophetic center for the digital world. Prophetic center for the digital world. Now India faces this one. Northeast Catholic can model interfaith dialogue, peace building and tribal harmony. This is the fact. This is the only church where all of us can come and sit together. Therefore, this Catholic faith, having this Catholic faith, no one has. It's a privilege. I think even Bishop was speaking. This faith that we receive is a privilege, called, given to us. So this is the only church that can bring all of us together. Lead youth forum for unity across region and religions, online and offline, reflect also the Catholic social teaching. So, I end with this word again. Pope Francis says, young people, do not be afraid to be holy. That's what Pope Francis said. Thank you.
Digital continent. Next, we move on to our next panelist to speak to us on the topic, From Chains to Grace, a Christian Response to Drug Abuse and the Promise of Eternal Life. Yes, over to you, Sir Katolili Basil Howry.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson, the moderator of this panel discussion for today. Don't confuse us to be brothers. Of course, we are brothers in Christ, not by blood. But I will follow in his footsteps. I will also stand up gradually, okay? I mean, it's a privilege because now what stands in front of us as people of the Northeast, particularly we, the youth, because we are standing at a very challenging time as far as dealing with the problem of addiction in our states are concerned. And I say this with fact because, I mean, we work together, and therefore I kind of like visit their office also, the secretariat. So I have one friend who is a drug user. He keeps moving in and around that secretariat complex without having any agenda. But every day you go there, you see him moving around with a file. He literally do not have any agenda. One day I met him. I often see you here when I come to this office. So what kind of work do you usually have in the secretariat? So he says, because he is a drug user after all, he said that I'm literally like quite busy. I want to go from this department to that department in the hope that I get some projects. So what is there in your file? I asked him about that. He opened up the file to me. There was literally nothing, just some scrap papers, blank papers, and some old newspapers. But that is how he tends to present himself. And that kind of a situation of people using drugs is also very prominent in all our states. I'm from Nagaland, of course, so I know the situation about Nagaland. But I was preparing for this when Father Koko called me up and said, "Oh, brother, in the name of Christ, we want you to be here, address the young people." I said, "Okay, I'm happy to do that. But let me get some better opinion about the other regions as well. The states as well." So I have my friends' connection everywhere. I called up Meghalaya, I called up Arunachal, I called up Tripura, Manipur, Mizoram. The scenario of drug use relatively the same. What is the scenario? I will talk about it a few minutes from now. Let me also begin by saying that addiction is a disease. Is this a breaking news for some of you? That addiction is a disease? Cancer, a disease. Hypertension, a non-communicable disease. HIV, a virus, of course, a disease caused by a virus. Tuberculosis, a disease caused by the tubercle bacilli in the form of a bacteria. Similarly, addiction is a disease. And now what we are facing, we are famous. Northeast, we are famous for the wrong reasons, for addiction. As far as the nation is concerned, we are famous for the wrong reasons. I've been to many of your states also. And I bring this experience not from what I read or got or attended training or conference, but because I've been there. And what I see is that addiction is ever increasing. I don't know whether you guys can agree with me on that. Yes or no? Do you think it's ever increasing? I see this and label it as the second wave of addiction. The second wave of addiction. Relatively, the first wave came as early as, the late 70s or early 80s in our region. And down the line, many families got destroyed. Many souls were lost. School dropouts, unemployment, problems at home, chaotic lives of that person. Problems in the society, like there is total disharmony. Sometimes there's a bigger law and order situation problem also because of addiction. And you need not raise your hands, but let me just ask you and you answer from within. Is anyone among you here who have had a younger brother or sister or elder brother or sister or someone in your family struggling with addiction of alcoholism, narcotic drugs or whatsoever, and has created a whole lot of problem in your family, might have died because of premature death resulting out of overdose? I think the answer to some of you, if not many of you, maybe yes. Addiction has affected us, you, me, in many ways. It may not be directly me as a person, but it's like my brother, my family, my community, for sure. We have had that struggle before, and now we are facing the second wave of addiction. So why? I will tell it now. There is this very adulterated drug called sunflower. You heard about sunflower? Not the seed that we eat, okay? Not that seed usually, but sunflower, also known as sunflower. You heard about it? You have seen it? You have tested it? You tried it? You injected once or twice? Anyway, this sunflower came like a little before COVID in our region. And our region is very famous because of the Golden Triangle. Golden Triangle, I mean Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, the highest poppy cultivation and raw opium production, where semi-synthetic or synthetic drugs, opioid drugs, are being produced and smuggled all the way from Manipur to Nagaland to Assam, and it goes internationally. Forget about going to Delhi, Mumbai. It goes international. So we have high availability, and this sunflower came. So it came a little before COVID, and then coronavirus came, 2019. Then 2020, March, I believe 24. Our PM, Prime Minister Modi, came on the national television and announced, was it 24 days? I forgot, but the first lockdown, total lockdown, because of COVID, was imposed. So Corona came, Corona went, but this sunflower came, and Corona has given its popularity to this drug called sunflower, and it is now ever picking up among the youths. Now, people among those who are using drugs now are as young as 13, 14 years of age. The first wave, relatively people, when they were like 18, 19 or 20, that's where they pick up the habit of taking drugs. But now, the youths of this generation, young adolescents, they are picking up this habit as young as when they are 13, 14 years of age. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I've interacted with them also. So I'm not cooking up stories. And it's a reality. I have had that reality check from many of the other states that I was calling up since yesterday and before yesterday to get the better information about what is happening in Mizoram, in Tripura, Manipur, for example. And relatively, it's almost all the same. People are using drugs, and they are at a very young, tender age. So now, the point is, we as a Catholic youth, and what convention should be disseminating information upon us to empower us to carry some message from here back home and deliver it within our community. I believe we have to create awareness about the menace of addiction by saying that experimental drug use does not work. It's going to lead you from the first use to the second use to the occasional use to the regular use to the dependent use. It's a process. So people usually pick up their habit by thinking that, oh, my friend is using, let me try once. This pill, that tablet, or that sunflower or whatever. Let me try once. And I want to pick up from what Sir Johnny also said about the digital space. Because of technology, what I see is that the drug scene has relatively changed. Now even girls, young females, they are getting more and more into this addiction. And of course, more and more for the boys as well. What could be because of this? I think we have to address the root cause. It begins from our home. Technology. Where is the interaction between parents and children these days? The father is on YouTube news channel. The mother is on YouTube Kasauti Zindagi channel, watching all those serials. The child is playing Mobile Legend. The boy is playing PUBG. There is no family interaction now. We're all compartmentalized. We don't know what is going on with our parents. The children don't know what is going on with their parents. The parents don't know what is going on with their children. The quality time, parenting skills, guidance. So do we expect everything to be groomed up by the church, by the school? I think back home, we have to start it from that very age when they are as young as 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. So the upbringing plays a very important role. Unless we are able to create awareness about the menace of addiction, telling people that experimental drug use does not work. Just flatly say no to the first use. Then only then addiction can be addressed by we as Christians through our spiritual faith, through our religious faith, and also through our outreach, part of our counseling, reaching out to them. Now to conclude, I just want to lay out one thing. I mentioned addiction is a disease. And that is like the study of the American Medical Association way back almost 70 years ago. In the year 1956, 2 years down the line, the World Health Organization also has endorsed the findings of the American Medical Association and then said that yes, addiction is a disease. But we are not looking at it as a disease perspective. There was a time when the church used to look at this group of people as a sinner, papi manu. The police, the administration look at this as a crime, as a law and order situation. The society looks at this as a anti-social kind of an element habit. Now in that situation, I'm cornered by the church, I'm cornered by the government, I'm cornered by the society. Where do I go? So if anyone is suffering from any disease, what do we do? Is to treat them. So a better approach is to disseminate the information about the importance of prevention. You know, 26 June, 4 days back rather, is the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. As proposed by the UN General Assembly every year on 26 June. That is the day that is observed. This year's theme was breaking the chains, prevention, treatment and recovery for all. That is what we say. But after the day program is over, everyone is back to square one. People go back to using, problems at home, chaotic life, stealing, cheating, lying, landing up in jail, keeping ourselves away from the family, from the church. All this problem continues. So we are at a very crucial point where if we don't want to lose the next generation of our future church leaders, if we don't want to lose the next generation of our future leaders in the society, we have to do something. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Basis Sir, for the practical menace to addictions and drug abuse sharings to the youth of the Northeast region in context to the region. Now we move on to the final panelist, Ms. Jeremiah Krong, who will speak to us the problem in the relationships. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you. So, I've been given the most talked about topic, common relationship problem and how to deal. You know what? I wish I had a session like this when I was growing up. I wouldn't have made so many mistakes which I have made. And you people are blessed. You people are, so fortunate to have a topic like this as you're growing up, or maybe during your youth age. You know, it's a topic which is not much discussed about, not much spoken about. Addiction and topics like that is spoken a lot about, but about relationship problem nobody speaks about. So as sir was saying, he did not have to answer directly, but sure, at some point in time, most of us have been in relationship, correct? Yes, yes. Very slow, yes, I can hear. All of us, we have been in relationship, we have been out of relationship. Again, maybe in another cycle continues, right? And we all know how difficult it is, but nobody taught us how to deal, correct? So today what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to be sharing on the basis of my life experience, sharing on the basis of what I have observed from others' life, on the basis of what has been taught to me, what I've learned from my seniors, from my mentors, and what has worked out and what has not worked out in my life. And the mistakes what I have made, I don't want you to repeat those mistakes again, youngsters. So can I get a hello from those in the balcony? Hi. I thought you're sleeping. No? Okay. Those at the back? Hi. Okay, you're not sleeping. All right, all right. So, I'll be moving a lot here and there a little bit. Relationship, as you know, can be defined in several ways, but it's basically defined as a dynamic of exchange. What exchange happens? Emotional, physical, social, and material exchange between two or more people or two or more parties. So today, the topic which is, the most prevalent amongst the youngsters, I'll be dealing about a relationship problem, man to woman relationship, or a boy and a girl relationship, how it can jeopardize your life, how it can derail you from what you're supposed to achieve in your life. Okay, so we know this is a definition, and you know what, as your senior, I want to give a humble warning or a caution. Do not get into a relationship. Simple as that. If you don't get into a relationship, you don't have to deal about it. As simple as this. Okay, first and foremost caution number one. Okay, and now you'll be like, it's not possible. We are all youngsters. We are supposed to be having, dates. We are supposed to be going on dates and this and that. And you might be like scolding me, who is she trying to make a saint and all? Okay, but I want to save you all the troubles. I'm going to save you all the troubles, because being a senior, being an elder, I have gone through that cycle, and I'm sure some of us who are a little elder are already, have already experienced that, that phase of their life, okay? So I want to save you all the trouble, first of all. So don't get into it, number one. And second, so we'll now look at what are the consequences. Nobody talks about much about this, what are the consequences of being in an unhealthy relationship? What are the side effects, we can say? What are the impacts of it, okay? So number one is that, as I said, since you're going to be, focused on only that one person, one boy, and that one girl, all your focus, all your attention, all your energy is going to be only on one thing. So you're not going to focus on your career, on your job, maybe on your studies, maybe on your projects. You're going to just be behind that one person, How am I to please this person today? How am I, to grab his or her attention? So your energy, your time, everything will go behind that person. And naturally, you're not going to reach your full potential. Why you're not going to reach your full potential? Because I'll tell you, in my state, I have seen this. People, those who are in, wrong relationship, either they take a break in their, school days or maybe college days, or to get a dropout. I have seen somebody who has dropped a year because he was busy pleasing that one person and was not, present in his schools, maybe in high school. So he had to drop his 1 year because of low attendance, and also he failed. So he had to redo his entire class. Like that, there are multiple examples. So you're going to lose your most precious time of this youth age. Why do you want to lose that? About behind that one person, Do not do that. Okay? All right. And another thing why you will not reach your full potential is because you might altogether, you are not ready emotionally, physically, financially, all these. and then you get into a relationship. You might have to untimely settle down in marriage. I've seen that happening in Arunachal. You are in that age emotionally where you have to study, you have to make a career, maybe come for conventions like this, go for a national convention, go for several, maybe courses, some courses to build yourself up. But untimely, because you were in a wrong relationship, untimely, you had to settle down in life. So that way you settle, but emotionally you're not matured yet. You have not come to that maturity to accept, a family life, a marital life. And I've seen so many cases like this where after a certain point in time, either the boy or the girl starts, they are still in the youth age, right? They're still in that age of, going for classes and all, maybe schools or maybe even post-graduation. But they have to settle down in marriage and also have kids maybe just before time. So you're losing out on a lot of your productive time, a time that you could have spent on building yourself up, doing something worthwhile. Meanwhile, this has happened. This is a reality. Not many people discuss about it, And I have seen this prevalent in Arunachal. I'm not sure about other states. So where I come from, I speak from that context. Okay, so this is what has happened, and after a while, they still are in that age. So they want to, they want to roam around, just like like you people, you want to go out, have fun, do what young people do, and they are not able to do that because they are untimely settled in life with kids, maybe with a husband, and lots of fights and struggles, and sometimes it leads to infidelity, it leads to divorces maybe. So, the caution, do not get into relationship. Okay, and a lot of people have also committed suicides. Youngsters below 18 years of age. They've committed suicide because of love failure. Check out the National Crime Records Bureau. We have advocates sitting here, Advocate Jimmy, and there must be so many advocates here. 15% died at the age, less than 18 years. And 8% died because of love failure, less than 30 years of age. So that's why the caution, do not get into a relationship. Okay, so now, how to deal or how to approach this man to woman relationship. I'm in Magdalene has already introduced that I'm in politics. So I'm in a field which is dominated by men. We have very few women in politics, and especially those who voluntarily get into politics are very few. So I have to deal with men all the time in this field. So how do I do that without getting into any kind of, problems because of some disruptions in this man-to-woman relationship? Number one is we have to set a boundary. Youngsters, nobody will tell you this, but being your elder, being your senior, I'm telling you this, we have to set a boundary for ourselves, and we shouldn't cross that boundary, neither we should allow others to cross that boundary. Okay, a mental boundary. Exercise self-control, self-restraint. Just because everybody else is having a boyfriend or a girlfriend doesn't mean you got to have. I don't have a boyfriend, though I am still single. Okay, jokes apart. So, yeah, and life is so peaceful, let me tell you. Life is so peaceful. It's so nice. You know, I'm able to focus on my career. My political career, I'm able to focus very well. Okay? So, yeah, you need to tread this relationship with care because if you cross over the boundary, you might be sending out wrong signals to the opposite person, right? And then land in trouble. So, tread with care, exercise self-control, and as much as possible, have a cordial relationship. As much as possible, you know, professional, like, and in the work front, those who are in working, you know, have a cordial relationship. Okay? And school days and college days, of course, you can be friends. There's nothing wrong about it. Okay? And just want to advise, a humble advice. Currently, if you are in any kind of unhealthy relationship, you've been fighting so much, not able to sleep, a lot of fights after going home, shouting on the phone and all of that, I would suggest come out of it. Life is so much peaceful where I am. It's much peaceful, okay? So, all right. So now you might be thinking, no, we are young people. We are bound to date, okay? We have to date. We are young people. I understand that. I totally understand that. You know, I'm sure most of us have gone on dates, right? But as your senior, as your elder, I just want to give you some guidelines or some pointers, okay? Number one, when do I date or when do I go for courtship? Ideal age or ideal time would be maybe after your studies, when you're at work, you know, when you are financially stable, so that you do not depend on your family, on your parents' income, okay? That would be the ideal situation to look out for a partner, okay? And if you follow these, you will not land into troubles because I've not landed in any trouble. Okay, all right. So, second thing is, right, you need to have, what do you call, an intention to marry when you go on a date. Do not date just because, you know, I want to date, not like that. Have an intention to marry, have an intent to settle down in life. When you are ready, emotionally, physically, financially, and mentally, only then you need to go on courtships or, you know, dates, okay? Have this intention and make it very clear. Make it very clear. You know, if things don't work out also, you need to be very clear that maybe you're not the right person for me. So, you know, I'm sorry. Maybe say in a very courteous manner. So that way you do not hurt the other person also and do not drag on a relationship years together. And, you know, it's just like a big burden that you are carrying on yourself, okay? Now, the next few points that I want to suggest is, you know, have some clear characteristics in your mind when you go on these courtships. Because that will help you zero in, you know. A friend of mine, a colleague of mine, she's also married recently. So she had, like, you know, my husband should be of, you know, medical background, should be playing guitar. And she found exactly somebody who plays guitar. And I'm sure most girls like, you know, guys who play guitar, right? Yeah, so it does come true. It has come true for my friend also. So she did find a guy who plays guitar and who's from medical background, okay? And another thing is, again, like I said earlier, exercise self-control, self-restraint, be very careful, you know, when you are dealing with man-to-woman relationships, so that you do not give the wrong signals and things don't work out. Just be very clear about it, okay? And I would also like to say that, you know, this is something that has worked very well in my life. I have a mentor. Does anybody has a mentor here? Mentor, somebody, guide. Yeah, at least 1 to 2 people I can see. They are nodding their heads. Those at the back, do you have a mentor? No noise. First and foremost thing, you should have a mentor. Not like, you know, in this class mentor, not that way. You should have a mentor in your life, a senior, somebody whom you can go and talk to. You can go and take guidance. Of course, a priest or a nun would also help. So it has helped me a lot when I was dealing through relationship problems, just like you, I had a mentor whom I could go and discuss, I could go and talk, and that really helps. They can guide you, they can help you, give suggestions, okay? Because many a times, when you are in trouble, when you are going through problem, you might not hear clearly, or you may not be able to, take decisions very rightly. Okay, so you need somebody who's elder to you, senior to you, to guide you. I've had such a mentor, and I continue to go to my mentor, discuss issues, and now that I have received the knowledge, I have received all of these, I'm here to just share with you these things too, so that you shouldn't make mistakes what I made mistake. Like I said earlier, had I had a session like this, I wouldn't have made so many mistakes in my life, and especially coming to relationships, And after all those mistakes that I have made, it's quite peaceful now, being single, okay? And the most important factor is pray. Pray about it. The most important factor, you need to pray. Pray and ask and seek guidance from the Holy Spirit, okay? I'll just share a very, very short personal testimony. So as Magdalene said, I'm deeply rooted in faith. Yeah, very much. I'm very much rooted in faith. I have a ministry that I have carried forward in spite of being into politics. I still lead that prayer group. I still lead that intercessory prayer. So I'm a person who's dependent a lot on guidance of the Holy Spirit. I pray to him a lot, okay? So there was this one instance, several proposals had come to me, okay? And each time the proposal comes, I go and pray, okay? So I've been doing that, and there was this one proposal which had come, and I went and prayed as usual, and I was not hearing anything. I was like, what do I do? Because, outwardly, everything was like, check. He's a Catholic, he's maybe a couple of years elder to me, he's in job, financially stable, and all of that, but just that he was not from my state. So I was little, shaking, what do I do like that, But I wanted God's will in my life. I don't want my will. I don't want what I want for my life. I want what God wants for me. So I went and prayed, but yet I went and met this person, okay? I did meet. And then I was not feeling anything, not getting anything, but I was getting a hunch. Like a sixth sense. We all know, no sixth sense, right? So I was getting like a sixth sense type, that there are some more women that he's talking to. I was getting that. I was going on getting that. And although we continued to talk, but then one fine day, I confronted and I said, are you speaking to some other women? And at the first instant, he didn't say. Then I said, no, you are, I think, because I'm going on getting it. Then he said, who told you that? I said, no one said that. It's just that I'm getting this. Then he said, yes, I am speaking to many other women. And I was like, oh my. And it's already been like 15, 20 days and all. And I'm thinking that he's, perfect from everything. He's a Catholic, he's working, couple of years elder to me, and all of that. Everything seemed all right from outside, okay? But from inside, this was a locha. This was a khichdi going on behind the curtain. So only God can reveal, So I just went with that hunch. And I asked, and he said, yes. And then he said, but though I'm speaking to these other women, I'm not talking to them, as if I'm going to marry. I'm going to marry you. And I was like, not happening. You cannot be talking to multiple women and also thinking that, I'm going to zero in amongst these 50, 10, 20 women. This one woman I'm going to marry. No, it doesn't happen that way. So when you are supposed to be a one-man woman or one-woman-man, correct? Agree with me? Yes, right. So this hunch I got because I was praying. So if I wouldn't have prayed, things had gotten quite, advanced also. Parents knew this side also and that side also, and I was like, Oh my. Before the damage, that's what I'm saying. The mistakes what I have made, I don't want you to make, okay? So then I said, this is not happening with me. You carry on with your life. I cannot be with a person who is speaking to multiple women. Not at all. And yeah, this is just one instant that I'm sharing with you. There are multiple ways that God will speak to you through your family. And of course, my family was against because it's out of the state, and they were like, what if he ill treats you and all of that? And I being the only daughter, they're like so worried and protective, my brothers and all. So there's a lot of ways God will reveal to you, give you red flags. So that happened to me through various dreams. I get through promptings, so many examples. I don't have time. Because of lack of time, I can't share all those examples. Okay? So pray, pray, ask the guidance of the Holy Spirit, and He'll surely guide you. Several examples I've had like that. I prayed one time 7 continuous days to get a message about one person who proposed. And this guy also was like all tick, 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 from Arunachal, Christian, but not Catholic, of course, Christian, similar tribe, okay, a little younger. I said, not happening. And the first day when I met, I got the, prompting that we are going to have doctrine issue. And he was very insistent. I said, no, I don't think it's going to work out. Though everything looks, check. All the boxes are check. So after like 1 week, he's in my party. So I have to speak. Whether I like it or not, I have to keep in touch with all the people in the party, right? So we've been speaking. And exactly after the 7th day of prayer, we had a discussion, we had a talk about faith and all of that. And suddenly, he had an issue with the Catholic faith. And I said, look, didn't I tell you we're going to have doctrine issue? So I said, not happening. You find somebody from your denomination. I think I will. I told the first day itself it's not going to work out. First day itself for me, I was not getting a good message or good sign about it. So all this happens because you are praying. So prayer, as brothers, as others have already said, is a very important part of your life. God, the Holy Spirit will guide you, will help you navigate through the complexities of these things. And while you are, waiting, those of you who are, or one day you will be at marriageable age, one day you will reach that age. And some of you are studying, I believe, and some of you are maybe working as well. So when you reach that age, remember these things, keep in mind, because these things have worked out for me. Tried and tested these are, okay? So while you are waiting, you could focus on your maybe career, maybe on your studies, building up yourself, building up your prayer life. I'm currently doing that. I do not think all the time that I'm single. I don't think about it all the time, Seriously, if you keep thinking, men, if you keep thinking, boys, I'm single, I don't have a girlfriend, you're going to be depressed, you're going to have anxiety. Same with girls. Everybody has a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. No, don't think, don't keep thinking that. Don't keep that at the top of your mind, okay? So while these things are working out, while you're studying, maybe in PG, in your graduation, at your work front, waiting for the right person or waiting for the right time for you to mature emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually as well, you could use that productive time building yourself up. Maybe have a hobby which you could pursue, like maybe you're good in guitar, maybe you're good in football as a hobby, you could do that. Maybe calligraphy, these days I am practicing a little writing, like content. I have to write because I'm into politics. I have to update about my public engagements, so I'm trying to be better into it. You could maybe focus more on your Bible study, get rooted in your faith. Maybe you could do all of that. So I'm doing all of that. I'm busy with my ministry, I'm busy with my political career, building up my career and all, and I don't have time to focus, to think I'm single. It'll happen at the right time. And do not venture into this thing. What is that? Relationship. Do not venture into what? Backbenchers? I can't hear you. At the below at the back. Relationship, those So now that I've made you repeat several times, I'm sure you'll go and break up. I'm sure you'll go and break up, okay? So, I mean, now talking about breakups, it's so difficult. We all know the emotional pain what you have. It's so difficult, you know. So if you are in an unhealthy relationship before time, you better come out of it, because the longer you stay in it, more time you will take, you know, to recover. Okay? So you want God's plan or you want your plan? God's plan. Exactly. So I would like to end with this saying that trust in God's plan, and in His time He will make all things beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremiah, for guiding us through emotional complexities of relationships. Now, moving on to our first panelist, Dr. Johnny. In this age where our youth spend significant amount of time online, could you kindly give us an insight on the specific apps, websites, or digital platforms where our youth can effectively preach the gospel or use it for evangelization, especially in the context of Northeast, where our youth are facing linguistic, culture, and connectivity challenges. Of course, indeed, we are growing in the digital access.
Thank you, Miss Magdalene. Before I answer, I wanted to request Miss Jeremiah if her application tender period is still open. Because in my diocese also there are many boys who could be eligible for.
So I am waiting only for God's plan, not my plan.
Okay, thank you, Madeline, for the question. When we talk about which is the best website where we can reach out, I think Instagram. You create an Instagram. Let us have an Instagram page of Northeast Regional Catholic Youth, where these thousands of people are here. And this regional office can send out an update. I have many pages in the Instagram where I follow. I follow about, technologies. I follow about Bibles. I follow about codes. I follow about daily prayers. Maybe perhaps this Northeast Regional Youth Catholic Convention.
Yes, we do have.
We can send out that one. That could be one of the best site because everybody uses that.
Yes. Besides that, we also have Facebook, and also there are Catholic apps available. If you can please find out in the online, when you go through, Google it, you will get some apps and the website, digital platforms, where we can directly connect with the Catholics of all over the world. For example, we have a Catholic connected app, right? One more app. So, yeah, we also need to explore more. Well, thank you, Johnny, sir. Now, Basil, sir, we often hear in the headlines, in the news headlines, where Northeast is often portrayed as the main drug region in India. For example, people often say Northeast is part of the Golden Triangle. Now, when we look in the vast context of the country, especially in the metropolitan cities, drugs is everywhere, right? So in this context, what do you say? Why Northeast is often forecasted in the news channels or in all the online platforms of India as the more prone region?
Is that a question from the audience?
Yeah, from you, sir. And I'll be getting back to the audience.
Anyway, like I said before, we are in the national news for the wrong reason. I will add this as well. We are in the national news for the wrong reason, including HIV as well. Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur, we are the first, second, third, so on and so forth. even in the context of drug use also. So we're there for the wrong reasons. And yes, you are right that Northeast, we are notorious for drug trafficking, supply and consumption. All the nasty, adulterated versions of any opioid-related drugs, you can find it here. And you know, the previous years, we used to blame the Golden Triangle. Laos, Thailand, Myanmar. The poppy production, supply of raw opium, converting it to the biochemistry. Please don't go into manufacturing of this opioid drugs.
I'm not,
But in the lab.
of course.
And then supplied. But now, my friends from Manipur, or if there's anyone specific from Kangkokpi area, Kangkokpi is
Anyone?
now, is there anyone? Anyway, Kangkokpi is starting to drug called sunflower. We don't need Myanmar to supply to us anymore, unfortunately. And so, many of the things are going from the northeast to the mainland in India and internationally, but also some of the other synthetic pharmaceutical drugs, which has an opioid content, are also coming via Assam to our states as well. Okay, so that is the kind of a mess up situation as far as the availability of drug in our region. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right, sir. We will get back to you very soon. Please stay tuned. Now, to our life coach relationship, Ms. Jeremiah. Well, speaking about the context of Northeast youth, our Northeast youth are not very free or comfortable to speak about the emotional pain that they go through or the relationship crisis that they face at home. In this context, how can you tell us, the young people, that how can we speak to our elders, or how can we get help from beyond our family members, or deal with our emotional struggle?
So the topic relationship problem, actually, I missed to highlight this, that various people, they cope with these emotional problems in a different way. Some of us, they wouldn't take a lot of time to recover from the emotional pain, but for some, it takes a very heavy toll on their mental health, on their emotional health, and they get into addictions. Okay, because I have a classmate who is doing well as of now. He's also my godchild. He got into a relationship maybe during his school days, and when the breakup happened, he couldn't take the pain, so he started to get into drugs. He got into drug addiction. He's the only son, and that was maybe around 15, 16 age. He's around my age now. Of course, now he's married, so he's had a very long time to come out of that addiction. And today he's opened a de-addiction center. So imagine, one problem of relationship, how much time of his, youthful age he has lost into addictions. You can imagine that, okay? And in Northeast, we are not very vocal about it. In the Western countries, they are very vocal. And I'm glad that this topic is there today. So what I do, okay, I as an elder, what I've gone through, what I've experienced, I've learned, I mentor those who are younger to me. I speak to them, like I try to be friends with them. Of course, in a friendly way only they will open. They will not open up otherwise. Okay, so those who are going through these problems, they can reach out, maybe, as I mentioned earlier, maybe to a priest who's, maybe your DYD, I don't know. Generally, the DYDs are very okay, very comfortable with youngsters. There are others, priests also, maybe sisters also. You can choose, whom you are comfortable with, but do not keep it bottled in. My dear young friends, do not keep inside, okay? Go and, share with them. That's what I did. And it helped me. I got proper guidance, and I was saved from making a lot of mistakes in my life. So that's what I would say. Or you could go to a lay person. Like, I'm a lay person. But many youths come to me, and I have led many youths, I've saved them from getting into wrong relationships. And today some of them are married with children, and some of them are into, job. They could have got into wrong relationships, They came and shared with me. I said, no, do not get into it. Stay out of it. Everybody else is doing doesn't mean you need to do. You stay single, but you focus on your career.
Yeah.
And he's today, at least I know a few like that. So you could reach out somebody, other than priest and nun also, elder like me, maybe, who's voluntarily helping out youngsters. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you, Ms. Jeremiah. Now, I'd like to hear from you. We have heard from our panelists. It's your turn. If you have any questions, the floor is open. Over to you, the youth of Northeast. Yes, please, Mike, volunteers.
Very good afternoon to all the panelists. Sorry. My name is Danville. I'm from Shillong Archdiocese, and I have a question to Dr. James, or I forgot your name, sir.
Johnny.
Dr. Johnny. So sorry for that, sir. Sir, Johnny Paul. Okay. Sorry for that, sir. So, sir, I have two questions. So, number one on advanced future technology, and number two on evangelization through social media. So, sir, moving on to number one, with the rapid growth of future technologies, just like how we have presented in the screen, sir, such as artificial life, gene editing, neurobrain computing, etc., etc. Although I personally appreciate these developments, because I'm from maybe same background as you, sir, a technical scientific background. But as a Catholic, sir, from a Catholic perspective, should we refrain from indulging into such treatments or developments? Or on the other hand, does the Church prohibit our participation in them, just like how it opposes the certain things like IVF or artificial insemination, contraception, etc., etc.? Since these are like artificial life and editing the gene for which God has created, does the Catholic Church in any way prohibit us, just like how they prohibit IVF and so on and so forth, sir? Or where does the Catholic Church stand when it comes to these modern innovation that touches the essence of human life and identity?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, brother, for the question. See, the technology we cannot stop.
Yes, sir.
Now the church has to look at this technology, emerging technology, and see and study in the light of the gospel. As I have presented, this technology should be a tool, not a master to us for the church. So we need to really look at how are we going to align this scientific invention with our belief systems. Now we cannot prevent the scientific research group that the church doctrine is this and stop it.
Yes, sir.
Now this technology should be used for the transformation of humanity. Please can you look at it? Transformation of humanity and not to destroy humanity. If it is to destroy humanity, the church will say no. But if it is to transform humanity, the church will say yes to the emerging future technology.
Thank you, sir. So moving on to number two, with social media being a powerful tool for spreading the gospel and evangelization, I've personally observed an increased number in terms when it comes to cyberbullying and judgment from peers, especially when we talk about the gospel or spread of faith. Speaking on this context, when someone speaks openly about their faith online, additionally I also feel there's a spiritual danger, sir. Sometimes being an online influencer might also contribute to your own spiritual pride or well-being. Just like, I've seen such cases. I'm not saying that our youths are like that, but I've seen such cases. And on the other hand, this might lead to, it can quietly damages one's own relationship with God. So, could this be a reason, sir, why many Catholic youths today are more comfortable with being hardcore consumers rather than creators in terms of online content? And also, like, how does evangelization, how can an individual evangelize through social media with humility without compromising on spiritual health or get affected by cyberbullying and so on and so forth, sir?
Yeah, thank you. The Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is always guided by the Holy Spirit wisdom. And likewise, even if you're a YouTuber, even if you are an influencer, social media influencer, you need to always use your wisdom. Because if we are the disciples online, please kindly take my word again, a disciple of Jesus Christ online, you will be like Jesus Christ only. If you're going outside of Jesus Christ discipleship, then we may be into trouble. Yes, maybe because of some religious intolerance, your page may be screened by cyber monitoring cell or team. But however, that should not stop us in spreading the message online, because the digital content is so vast, so fast, and manipulative. And if we are not entering into that one, just being a consumer is not enough. We should also be the content creator for that digital content. It is a must.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you. Can we move on to the rest? Can we make your questions shorter because we are out of time?
Good afternoon to our panelists. I am Ms. Balbyangti Mary Lingdothapa from Shillong Archdiocese. The questions to Dr. Johnny, panelist number 1. Sir, no doubt, today we live in a digital platform. So social media can be a platform for evangelization. Sir, I just need a suggestion. How can a youth be trained to use it wisely?
Thank you, Madam, for how can a youth be trained to use this social media page wisely? I think very important. Now, the social media or the technology is the same mobile that you're using can be used for many, many abusive purposes as well. And the same mobile that you're using can be also used for prayer, for meditation. If you're in, isolations, you can go into the mindfulness, listening music. The same device can be used for many, many other things. Therefore, here, our Catholic youths, we need to be responsible young men. Proverb says, young men, when you are young, do whatever your heart desires. But remember, when you die, you will be judged. You have to remember, madam, when we're young, we can do all that we are desirable to do. Okay? But we have to remember that tomorrow we will be judged. Therefore, we need to use this device wisely that's what, in the gospel value. In the gospel value. I hope I'm answering.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So I have another question to panelist number 2. Since I am a caretaker, so I just want to put a question. And I have come across many cases with children involved in drugs. So, sir, what are the factors that contribute the young age to use drugs or to become a drugs user? Most of the child, they said lack of parental guidance. So till this day, there is no answer or there is no clear answer to the factors why children are involved in drugs.
Yeah. And I will also not be able to give you a very clear answer also, because there's no conclusive answer to this as to why people initiate on drug use. There are multiple reasons. You mentioned lack of parental
guidance.
That possibly could be one of the root cause. It all starts from the family. Then the children go out and explore in the church, in the community, in the school, so on and so forth. But are we training them enough at home? Are we giving them quality time? Do the parents have the skills to guide them to stay away from all those substances? But also, the other side of the story is, I think technology has played a very important role in our lives. And I agree with what Sir Johnny has mentioned about using responsibly. Because if we go to any sort of channel, explore it, we get fascinated with too many things. The lives of the celebrities, crazy people doing crazy things, and like all those show of fascinating affairs, kind of like attracts people to get into all those. And then gradually, there is the addictive personality. There is the addictive personality being built it when that person is still at a very young, tender age. And then gradually, as the time goes by, because of the influence, the stressful life, the digital technology influence, everything coupled by the lack of parenting skills, etc., poor upbringing, whatsoever, triggered by curiosity, they want to experiment, peer pressure, availability, all those reasons, the list can go on and on. Then, thereby, they get not directly into the real addiction, but you know what? They get into a certain thing initially called the gateway drugs. And what do I mean by gateway drugs? They initially get introduced themselves into occasional experiment with smoking, once or twice. Occasional experiment, imitating the elders. He smokes, he threw it on the street. I, as a young boy, I go and pick up that tokora. I try to imitate the way he is smoking. The smoke coming out looks so like interesting or cool. And then they get into all those gateway drug substance, nicotine, tobacco products. And even our region is also the highest for the gutkha tobacco products. So we get in Nagaland, we get talab, shikar, all those. You get it in your states as well, I believe. So young children, when they are like class 8, 9, so on and so forth, they initially get into all these tobacco, nicotine products in the form of gutkha, biri, cigarettes, and then they get into the real addiction. So we need to break the chain from that. Primary intervention is required from our side.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, this will be the last question. We are running out of time as we have general body meeting right after this panel discussion. So please make the question short and also the panelists to answer it in a very brief or point. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all the panelists. I'm Artina Lamare from Barak region. My question to Basil sir. Sir, as you said that nowadays in this generation, family, they don't have a family gathering, family time. So as a Catholic youth, what should we do to get back our people to those days to spend the family time?
I don't know, many things are moving forward. And we don't necessarily have control of everything. We understand that this is right, this is wrong. We understand that as parents, we have to give quality time. But our work demands, the stress that we face, for example, from the children's point of view, they have their own education going on, they have their own tuition going on. There is no regional, especially if we are to talk in the context of Northeast. So we have our own too many things going on. So we cannot have absolute control over everything. And too much of a strict parenting also does not work in this generation. So I think to be a role model, silence speaks better than words. To be a role model is something I think we should try to inculcate in the minds of the young people. As an elder, as a parent, simple things like not smoking in front of them. Even if you smoke, not smoking in front of them. Even if you chew something, don't send them to buy it from the pawn shop. You go and get it yourself. I'm being very practical. Even if you must have to eat, go and buy it yourself. Even if must drink alcohol, go and buy it yourself. Don't give them $100 to go to the bush joint. Do it yourself. So all in all, I'm saying that that kind of an environment is for real, and we cannot keep compartmentalizing ourselves also. The best thing is to do anything, everything, but with wisdom and in the light of the gospel and in moderation.
Well, thank you to amazing panelists for today. Let us all give them a big round of applause. Thank you for joining us today, Ms. Jeremiah, Basil Sir, and Dr. Johnny. I believe from today, we will